I went up.
How?
When I first got my first trike, I had a friend that was in the combat veterans group. Anyway, I was invited up to their clubhouse in Vancouver. I went up to that, and their main deals was the Gypsy Jokers. And I got up there and talked about a bunch of nasty friggin' bikes and people. And I got up there, well, you gotta, serve these guys, go through initiation and
I
all
don't believe
that.
in probations.
Yeah.
I'm too old to serve anybody coffee.
No. Anyway, he says, I was sitting there, watching these people and thinking, no, this ain't my kind of deal.
This ain't me.
And anyway, I had my hat, like, what the hell you do there?
For my belt buckle.
Oh, yeah.
But I got touch-up stuff for it.
I had my helmet, like, you got yours there? And he says, one of the guys says, I wouldn't put my helmet like that. I said, why? He says, well, he says, being initiation, either piss in it or put a cigarette out in it.
Oh my God.
So that was my turn to leave.
You know what the combat vets told me? Well, a friend of mine quit.
Yeah.
He's an instructor. He was an instructor, young dude, Iraq veteran. And he calls me up. He says, Master Dorsey, he says, I joined that combat vet and I quit. And I said, why'd you quit, Vance? You liked it. He said, yeah, until I told him about you being a Vietnam veteran, combat veteran. And they said, we don't have blacks in our clubs.
Yeah.
He goes, what? He said, we don't have blacks in our clubs. He said, he's a Vietnam veteran. He says, well, we have affiliation with Gypsy Jokers and them, and they don't go for that.
Yeah.
So he said, I quit too.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what he told me.
Well, I would have too.
Look
That's
at that.
What?
The Army and the Navy, right? Yeah, who would have thunk it, huh?
That they actually got along.
Yeah.
Who would have thunk it?
Did you know what? There are two Army guys, an Army guy and Navy guy in the bathroom, and they were peeing. And the Army guy goes out first, started washing his hands. The Navy guy, he just buttoned up and walked out. The Army guy says, hey. He said, in the Army, they teach us to wash our hands after we pee. Our Navy guy said, they teach us not to pee on our hands.
You know what I like best about the Army?
It's an old joke, and it's got told by, any two different groups that hate each other.
Yeah.
Down at the Legion, the two groups that fight back and forth about each other is the Marines and the Navy.
Oh, yeah.
They go back. I'll be sitting there
Yeah, it's
laughing.
pretty hard for the Marines to get to that front line if they don't have a boat to get there.
Hey, they say the Navy's just a taxi cab for them.
Yeah.
They go back and forth.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, when we were over there, our best buddies were the Marines, especially, and the corpsmen for the Navy. The Marines loved those guys because they'd fix their wounds and stuff.
Excuse me.
But yeah, I've had quite a few friends that are Marines, quite a few friends that are Navy,
Every time I
quite
meet
a few
somebody
friends that are
from
Army.
Army.
I met
My uncle's Army.
Every time I meet
And you
somebody
all
from the
served.
Navy and they get to talking, I say, what branch you're in? They go, Navy, or they'll say
served.
Marines. I said, that's okay, I still like it.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I'm gonna walk the one end to the other.
Yeah, go ahead and get your walking. She likes to get her steps in.
Yeah.
My steps are her steps, so
I
I'll
tried to
stay
get my
here.
little, I tried to get my 10,000 steps in. I don't know if
And I'm right with you. Yep,
Yeah, I do them just as.
I am right with her.
Yeah.
When we were
Hey,
traveling back.
okay, I was going to ask you, when you were, didn't you say you were in Sierra Vista, Arizona?
I was what?
In Sierra Vista, California, Arizona?
No.
You wasn't down at Fort Huachuca?
No, I was at, let's see. I was at Fort Lee, Fort Stewart, Fort Jackson, Fort Hood, Germany, and Vietnam.
Okay. I had a buddy that was Master Sergeant and drill instructor at Fort Huachuca.
What Fort Huachuca, Arizona?
Yeah. And he was out. I moved him, went down and moved his furniture and stuff out for him. And he'd been gone for better part of a year, and they stood up and got attention when he walked into barracks. And so then he would, but he was over in Germany for quite a while too.
I hated Germany.
He
I
was
hated
have
Germany
something to
with a
do with
passion.
radio communications, putting up the towers and
Yeah.
stuff.
But you know, even though I hated Germany, I said, you know what? I got to be here for 3 years. So I might as well make the most of it.